Hello and welcome, or maybe it's welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is The Listening Mentor. The Listening Mentor is my title. I teach people how to listen at an elevated level. Joining me each and every week, I'm so happy that she has really set aside this time on her calendar on a Friday night when she could be out doing a lot of other things. Let us welcome the Harley Street stress expert, Caroline Heward.
Hello.
Hello. So good to see you again. How are you?
I'm very good. We've seen each other a few times this week. It feels like, I think this is 3 times this week.
I think it is. Yes, it's always a pleasure to see you. You know, something we were talking about on authentic achievements this morning is how this way of communicating has enabled us across the world to make really good friends. Even though we've not been in person, we are still good friends. And I think that's really amazing.
I totally agree. And it was something that I was just considering this week, that my whole life has completely changed, elevated in terms of, my online presence. And it wasn't there a year ago. A year ago today, I hadn't even done my first interview with you. So it's unbelievable, what's happened, the depth of the friendship and the things that I've achieved with you and because of you and for you. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I feel the same towards you. You've opened me up. I see things from a different perspective. And it's just nice to know that when you and I are doing this show and other times when we're getting together, that it's really genuine and authentic, and it's based on love and respect.
It sure is.
No, we're not dating. Okay, please
stop.
No.
There's a mutual appreciation here.
Yes, exactly. So, Caroline, thank you so much for taking the Power of Listening Foundation certification course. And you kindly did a testimonial, which I really appreciate. And I was able to put it together in a clip. So before I do that, I'd love to spotlight you and just share a little bit about your background. Where is Harley Street? What is Harley Street? What do you do there? And how do you help people?
Well, Harley Street is the famous street in London that's known Europe-wide as the street where all the good doctors and complementary and alternative therapists reside. I'm at number 10 Harley Street, not Downing Street, Harley Street. And why expert? Well, I've been doing this work now for 22 years. I would say that would make me some kind of good expert. What do? I help people manage their stress, literally obliterate the repeating patterns that cause the stress. So whether it's emotional, behavioral, mental, physical. So whether it's a physical ache and pain that you get, there will be a root cause. And rather than dealing with the symptom end, I deal with the root cause and literally obliterate the repeating pattern. So you become aware of what's created in the first place and it literally disappears. Why am I here doing the Listening Mentor? Well, to be honest with you, this is what I do. I have to listen both physically, verbally, and non-verbally. And I'll tell you more about that as we go forward in this interview.
Thank you so much, Caroline. You know, as you were speaking, the words that you used about treating a root cause, it popped into my mind that Red O'Laughlin, one of our team members, he's a longevity researcher, and that's something that is in his wheelhouse as well. That just the two of you, have you connected?
We sort of have, but haven't. And so, yes, when I saw him on Wednesday, it occurred to me that we should be a bit more connected. So, yes.
Yeah, I'll facilitate that. That's great. All right. So we are going to watch your testimonial, and I'm really appreciative that you did this. We're going to learn more about you as well through this. So the beginning of this testimonial, this is a testimonial for the power of listening. And we have many courses. You'll see when you watch the video. And then afterwards, Caroline, we'll have a chat about it. So let's take a look. Hello, my name is Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm known professionally as Dr. Jacalyn. I am the founder and president of USA Global TV and Radio, and I also am known as the listening mentor. I teach people to listen at an elevated level. The power of listening is an opportunity for people to watch role plays. When we watch these role plays, many times we can see ourselves in the role play. I teach people how to set boundaries as an elevated listener. And when we're listening at an elevated level, we're listening without judging the other person. My goal, my wish, my mission is for us to respect each other, hold again that safe space for people to share their comments, their feelings, so it doesn't escalate. It's not years of being unheard. I'm asking you to open your heart, open your mind, and open your ears to support a world of inner peace and elevated listening. Thank you for your time today.
Hello, I'm Caroline Heward, known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. I literally help people manage and obliterate their stress, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, behavioral. I love what I do and I do what I love. And the reason for that is I solved my own depression, anxiety, and stress. I used to be a corporate high flyer, a very, very successful corporate marketing and PR girl. You know, one of those PR levies. And it was good and it was successful, but I wasn't happy. And when my father passed away, that was when it changed. And so 22 years ago, I changed what I do, and I'm loving what I do. I am one of life's long learners. I've always been a student of life, and I train in everything that I do. I'm not one of those people that think that I've qualified and I've got everything. I'm always constantly learning. So part of my role is to help people manage their stress. So I have to listen actively, really conscientiously, and hear everything they're saying, both verbally and non-verbally, and emotionally, and in the tonality. So I'm very acute in terms of my listening skills. And I felt that there was something that I could learn more of. And I'm always open to look and listen and find out more. And so I took Dr. Jacalyn's course. For one reason, I wanted to support her because she's done a lot of supporting of me and given me an incredible platform to help more people in this world of this challenged environment. And so from my perspective, that was key. And then the second reason I took the course was because I felt maybe there's something more I can learn. And boy, did I learn something more. There was all sorts of interesting nuances, especially when we did the role plays, of what I didn't perhaps see previously. And even now when I'm just doing everyday things like sort of being in a call or speaking to my mum or doing my shopping, I'm so more aware now than I perhaps ever was. And it made me very highly, acutely and intellectually aware of other people when they're not listening as well. And it almost has made me feel a little frustrated when I don't listen, and I kind of smile and laugh. And so I highly recommend this training. One, because it's lifelong training. It's not only for your business, it's for your personal life. It's for your friendships, it's for your intimacy, for your relationships, and it's also for your business. It will impact you in every aspect of your life. Dr. Jacalyn, I cannot thank you enough for what you have given in this training. Thank you.
Well done, Caroline. How do you feel watching it?
Well, it goes really well. I mean, I just sat there and I didn't have a rehearsal. It just all came out because it was authentic. It was from my heart. Everything that I said was true. It was easy to say those things.
Well, thank you. I literally just zoomed on you and boom.
Yes. And it's easy when it comes from an authentic place, when you're not trying to make it up or script, read from a script. And that's how I speak, from my heart.
Well, thank you. It touched me. I really do mean that. And I just, a call to action. I've said so many times, I feel like the reason why we don't get along in this world, why we have such anxiety and tension, is because we're not listening. And it's not our faults. We don't know how to listen. They don't teach us how to listen in school. There's no listening course. And we pick up these habits as we go through life. And then we get to be a certain age and we're in a relationship and it doesn't work and we're not happy. We don't realize at the center, at the core, is because you're not feeling heard and you're not hearing anyone. So that's why I put together this course, and I got it down to 2.5 hours, $257. I tried to make it as available as possible. People can pay me over time. So I'm just hoping that people will think to themselves, this is something I really need to do for the betterment of myself, my relationships, and for the world, really.
It certainly helped me. And I've been doing this kind of work, for over 2 decades. And I certainly got some interesting nuances and takes from the training. And it's always powerful when you watch. It's like when you watch a sitcom, or a movie. You're not in it. You can see everything. And that's what's so good about role plays, because while you're in it, it's very hard to see. But when you're watching it, witnessing it, then it's a very different experience.
Well, that was a great segue, Caroline, because we have a role play that I want to have us take a look at. So to your point, when we are in a role play, which a role play is, we're in our regular lives, we're interacting with someone and we can't see what's going on. But if I were to film it, if I were to take a video of the actual interaction and then we sit back and watch it, we'd say, oh, okay, I really wasn't listening, or I was just interested in myself. And as soon as you said something, like, for example, here in the United States, I don't know if you heard, but the Supreme Court turned over Roe versus Wade about the whole woman's right to have an abortion, and they've now put it in the hands of the states. And that's a big issue, and people are going to feel very strongly about. There's already protests, and the bottom line is people don't want to listen to each other. They're angry that this has happened, which everyone has a right to feel the way they feel. But then communication starts to break down. And then you and your friends, maybe you feel one way and they feel another way. All of a sudden, now that relationship is severed. If we could just learn to listen to each other without judging what another person says, let them have their feelings, let them have their thoughts. We can have our own. We don't have to agree. That's what makes this world a beautiful place. So that being said, let's watch this role play of you and Mariska.
I need to speak to you. It's
I'm really sorry. I'm just a bit busy right now. I have some deadlines and I've got to get this proposal out.
I'm really sorry to be disturbing you, but it's really, really important that we need to.
Are you not listening to me? Are you really not listening to me? I'm really sorry. I just have to get this proposal sorted. I'm on a deadline. It's now.
I understand. It's just that if we don't get
it's just that nothing. You have to just go out of my office. Go on, go.
When would be a good time then? Because it's
Well,
really
I will come
important.
back. I just need to sort out this proposal. Then I've got a call to make. And when I have time, I will come and see you.
Okay. I want to stop it right there. I love this. By the way, if you're just joining us, this is a role play. This was directed by me. This is not something that happens in real life. I want to get your feelings as you watch this, but I also want you to look at the look on Mariska's face.
Oh, she's just desperate.
She's desperate. Now, she's not an actress. You're not an actress. You were doing the role play, but you were actually taking the role and taking it inside. And this is what we do in real life. So tell us how you were feeling as you were filming this, and then how you feel now watching it.
I felt very awkward. I felt really uncomfortable when I was doing it, because obviously we were given our roles to play, and I did it. And as I was doing it, I just felt really uncomfortable because it was awful for me. I felt very like I was treating it awfully, and it's not normally how I would be. But now I'm watching it, I'm kind of laughing at it because I'm thinking I definitely would never do that. So it's turned from an uncomfortable situation that I was actually when I was doing it to now a bit of a comedy.
Well, that's good that you can look at it and laugh, because that's how things are in life as well, right? I'm going to analyze this role play, but I just want to share this with people watching or listening. When we have something we want to share, which Mariska did, she had something she wanted to share, but you're not available. You're busy. You're trying to say in as many ways as possible, this is not a good time, but she keeps coming at you. She keeps coming. And don't we do this in real life all the time?
Very much so, yeah.
We don't care what the other person is doing. We have something to tell them and they need to listen now. But we can't listen now because we're busy, preoccupied with something else. And if you did turn to her and say, okay, you know what? Just let me have it. Just say whatever it is. You're in a different mind space. How are you going to receive that information if you say, just tell me anyway?
Well, I wouldn't be listening because my mind would be preoccupied with, as I was saying in the role play, the proposal and the phone call. So my mind listening would not be with her at all. So she would probably say things and I literally wouldn't hear her.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, I want our audience to imagine this. You're at home with whomever you live with, and the person is at a desk. And you come up from behind them and they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something. And you come behind them and you start talking to the back of their head. Is that person listening to you?
No.
Is it possible for them to listen to you?
It's very difficult if you're not seeing them, because the person that's got their back to you essentially can't see the sensory acuity of the physical gestures, the facial expressions, and they will be preoccupied with doing something else. So no, you miss everything.
Now, you, the person walking up and talking to the back of the head, are you going to feel heard?
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, because it is not possible. So here's another thing I want us to remember. When we want to share something with someone, we can visually see Mariska dejected, and we see Caroline frustrated and annoyed. Caroline's in her office, let's assume. She is doing something vitally important. She's under pressure. She's got deadlines. She's told us deadlines. And Mariska so wants to disrupt her from what she's doing because she has something important to say. Both people walk away feeling upset. And that's how the resentment starts. That's how, in Mariska's case, low self-esteem, fear of rejection, not knowing how do I approach my boss again. All of these things start coming up. So what I'd like to suggest is when you have something you want to share with someone, family member, friends, work-related, whatever it is, first, ask for permission. if Mariska said to you, which she did, is this a good time? You said no. She got her answer. She asked for permission. You said no. She kept going. And we do this all the time. Take the no. In fact, with what Caroline shared, this is probably not a good time to ask her when would be a good time, because she's not in the mindset to give you that information. So, Caroline, I'm going to ask you, when should Mariska, based on you being in this role play, when should she said thank you and walked away?
When I said that I didn't have time to, of the first point, her first question, you know, do you have time? She should have just listened to the no, and then, you know, said, "Oh, come back when you're less busy." And she didn't. And all that did was, that was frustrating for her, and it was more frustrating for me, because I had to keep justifying why I wasn't free. And the more justification that I was giving her during that role play, the more I was getting frustrated and starting to get a little angry. You know, I was, you know, kind of doing this with my hands. And that's why I was laughing, because it's not normally how I would be, you know. And but this is when you're looking at something a lot of time afterwards, then you can see the funny side of it. I remember Mariska not feeling very happy in that role play. You know, she felt very uncomfortable, and so did I, because it's not how we would normally be. So if she'd have literally took the first no, we wouldn't have got into that hiatus.
And this happens all the time in real life. And you use the word, which I love, justifying. Sometimes things start to escalate, and we're literally in a tug of war with the other person, demanding for their attention. I demand you listen to me right now. I'm the mother of your children. I've been here all day while you've been out at work. I want to tell you. And the guy's like, whoa, I just got my head bashed in at work. I might be fired. Now I'm coming in. It's like, it doesn't work. So we have to be mindful of the other person and what they're going through. It's great to have something, even if it's positive, something great that you want to share. The other person has to have the mental capability to focus on what you deserve, which is undivided attention. Let's keep looking, see what we find next.
Okay. Would it be okay if I... Okay.
Leave the door now.
So I just wanted to show everyone that we really were doing role plays there. So let me take this down for a moment. So what I really want people to take away from this is we are capable of communicating with one another. We are. But we have to take the ego and check it at the door and have some respect for ourselves and for the other person, because we all deserve to have that undivided attention, which is not when your partner is watching the football game with their friends. I've had women tell me that, you know, football season, the husband's there, the guy's there with his friends, and they walk around like in front of the TV doing like crazy. Why are you doing it? You're not going to get good undivided attention. You're just annoying everyone. So look for ways to ask for permission. Is this a good time? And then as the listener, you have to set up boundaries. If Caroline was going to be on this show listening to me 24 hours a day, she's going to go broke. She's not going to have any business. She's going to resent me. She's going to be, why did I sign up for this show and have to be here? Right?
Absolutely. Not that I would do that.
I'm just extreme though, because when we live with someone 24 hours a day, we demonstrate the same behaviors over and over and over again. And we're not looking at ourselves as the listener or as the presenter, the speaker.
One of the things that I would suggest, I did have somebody say to me that people always call him when he's not free. And I asked him, well, what are you saying to them? And he was basically saying, I'm not free on this day between these times, and I'm not free on that day or this day in those times. And he said, they always call me when I'm not free. And I made a suggestion. Instead of saying when he wasn't free, I suggested that he changed it to telling people when he was free. I'm available during this time and this time on these days, and I'm available on that night 2 days a week for a few hours. And I said, you'll find that if you only give them when you're available rather than when you're not available, you will find that they will call you in the times that you're available.
I am so glad you brought this up, because I actually was guilty of doing that. I'm not available now. I'm not available now. And when I heard you, I thought, why am I not providing information that's relevant and useful? When are you available? Just tell me. I don't want to hear the whole list of no, no, no.
Because when you keep hearing no, the person switches off. So whenever I have inquiries, say email inquiries, I will actually write a list of times, and I'll say, I look forward to your call. I'm available to speak to over the following days at these times. And I'll say Friday up until 4 p.m. because I'm doing a broadcast at 7 p.m. and I don't want them to call me on the deadline. If I said I was available till 5, they might call at 5:30. So I make sure that I allow the extra time just in case they call right on the dot of the time that I've said that I'm the final time that I'm free. Because if I said I was available till 6 o'clock, sure as eggs is eggs, somebody would call me at 6 o'clock. So I don't. I make sure that I give myself time to prepare for this broadcast, time for myself to get ready, to get the tech ready. So I have to give myself some headspace, and I take that deliberately. And if I have to organize dinner, then I take that time deliberately and say I'm not free. So after the show, I actually say I'm not free till after 9 p.m. And that means that it gives me a whole hour and a little bit to organize dinner and eat. And then I'm relaxed, so that if calls do come in, after 9 o'clock, then I've done everything I need to do and I'm relaxed. And it makes it better for me, because other people don't know what your diary's like, what your schedule's like. And so if you say that you're free all evening, then they will just call you anytime.
Exactly right. Something I want to ask you about, because I've had this conversation with one of our other team members, is when someone calls you on the phone, you see the name on the phone, whatever they're calling, WhatsApp, Messenger, regular phone. I, out of respect, if I'm broadcasting, I won't, but I'll pick up the phone and I'll say, hey, thanks for calling. I can't speak to you right now, but I just wanted to let you know that I wanted to hear your voice and just let you know that I'm here. So this other person, a man, he had a completely different perspective. His perspective was, if you answered the phone, you should be available to talk.
That's why I don't.
We've got a couple of comments from one of our other team members. Hi, Christine, joining us from Vienna. She had her Talking Head show today. She did her second improv with one of her students. Is really worthwhile. So please go over to Talking Heads 2022 and check that out. She writes, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the listening mentor, for reminding us to be more attentive and aware of others around us. And also wonderful suggestions, Caroline. Very nice. And thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. So what are your thoughts about that? I'm saying I'm answering the phone because I care about you. I don't want you to be like, oh, is she okay? She's not answering the phone. Now you hear my voice. I'm okay, but I can't speak with you. He says, you pick up the phone, you made a commitment to talk.
Well, I'm inclined to agree on some level that if you do pick up the phone, it's saying that you are available. And even though there is this politeness of responding straight away, when you have done, the other person doesn't know what your circumstance is. So if I'm with a client, for instance, on a client call, I don't take any other calls. I don't look at any other messages. I don't check anything else, because I have my total undivided attention in that inquiry. And if I'm shopping, for instance, out doing something, I don't take calls, because if I do, it means that I'm not with the call, with the person in the call, and I'm not actually shopping or doing whatever I'm doing. So I tend to not be in the phone. I'm not one of these people that is always glued to the phone, because it's not how I live. I'm very present in everything that I'm doing, and it's important to me to be like that. So whatever I'm doing, I'm fully in the experience of who I'm with and what I'm experiencing in terms of the event, the dancing, the having dinner. I don't answer my phone if I'm eating, and many people do. And I just think, no, I'm going to finish my food and then I will pick up the call. I'll just say, I'm sorry, I missed your call. And because the other person doesn't know, and while you've answered the phone and your dinner's going cold, or while you're doing something else, they are expecting your undivided attention, and they really don't know what's going on in your world.
All right, I want to go perspective. What's it called? Point, counterpoint. So I appreciate what you shared. Thank you. I am glued to my phone. My phone, it's almost like coming out of my body, like I'm giving birth. And part of the reason is, okay, my mom's downstairs. I keep tabs on her. In fact, when she goes out for her walk, I've got Life 360. I can see exactly where she is. So I have to be cognizant of what she's doing. But I feel badly because since I work so much, even with the team members, I'm not available if someone wants to speak to me. So if someone wants to speak to me and I have 5 minutes while I'm going to eat, while I'm eating, while I'm out walking, I'm like, okay, I'm here for you, because I don't have time to be available the other times. So I must really need some help.
Well, then it scrambles you, because that's why you become so exhausted, because you're filling every moment, and it will be, at the end of a day, you'll be completely exhausted because you're fitting everything in. Then where are you in that?
Well, the truth is, I'm usually never exhausted, which is amazing.
Wow.
The only time I'm exhausted is after the last show today. I have 2 more shows after this. I'm a little tired because, again, I'm present listening, right? I'm here all day, 5 days a week. And I think to myself, now you have to go work out. I don't care what you have to say. You need to go to the gym. And then I have this kind of internal struggle with myself, because I'll say, you deserve to take off. Really? Do you want to be a giant whale? I don't want to. Shut up. Then you need to go. This is what happens. So then I go, and I'm sort of angry at myself that I'm going. And then I get there and I feel great. I've got a ton of energy again. So.
Well, the Tibetan monks, they call that the monkey mind. The mind is chattering. And the reason you feel better is because when you're doing a workout at the gym, the energy is out of your mind and it's going into your body. So you breathe differently throughout the different exercises, whether you're on machines or whether you're cardiovascular, but you're breathing, because you have to, into your body. And so then you're grounding the energy from your head and feeding your body with oxygen. And so you will feel better. Anybody that does a run or any type of gym or swimming, any type of exercise or dancing even, it will take you out of your head and into your body. And you, even though it's difficult when it's cold and it's miserable and it's wet and it's like you just feel exhausted and you just want to kind of, that's what's going on. You're saying, oh, do I really want to do it? But when you've done it, you realize why you do it.
Yes, so true. Well, as you know, yesterday I went for a walk. I walked for 2 hours, which I always am frustrated because I could jump on the trampoline for an hour and work and take 3 hours of walking into 1 hour trampolining. But I feel like it's good to get out in nature. And then all of a sudden these ideas come to me. And as you know, I contacted you. I said, I'm walking, I'm out of breath. I have ideas to share with you. And I think to myself, could you leave the phone in your bag? No, I cannot, because these ideas are coming to me. I don't have paper and pen. I want to get them out there. And so sometimes it's self-defeating because I'm not getting the mental rest that I need, because my mind's always creating. And then I come back, I'm like, oh, I have to get this idea out there. I have to edit this. I have to create this, which I love. It's fun, but it doesn't seem like there's ever a time out, so to speak. So I think where I want to go with this is, if someone were to call me in the midst of all this, I'm not going to be able to listen because my mind is completely full.
Absolutely. And that's what I was about to say, that when your mind is full, it's really hard for something else to come in and you really be there for that person and for yourself. And many times, you know, with the way that the culture is today, you know, the way that everything's on the phone and everything's required almost, there's a feeling of an immediacy. You know, if you're not there, well, why aren't you there? Why aren't you answering?
Number 6, a female to a male.
I tend to find that it's harder work, you know, to get that time on our own.
Yes, definitely. Sorry, the role play popped up. Okay, let's take a look at one quick role play before we leave. This is with another team member, and this is a woman speaking to a man. And then next week, we'll look at a woman speaking to a woman. So I want you to keep in mind when you're watching this, how many times you've been in a situation like this. And it could be a female to female, but it's typically a man and woman interacting. Let's take a look. Again, it's a role play. Number 6, a female to a male. Hyatt, I'm so glad that you were available to speak with me today because I am just going through something. I don't know. I've been living on this island for a year with my mom and it's great. But, you know, I moved and I left all my friends and sometimes I'm just so lonely and I feel like every day is the same thing. I work out, I have dinner with my mom. I work out, I have dinner with my mom. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just so upset. I can't even sleep anymore, Hyatt. I just don't know what to do, Hyatt.
What? I need to tell you what to do. You need to just do what I tell you to do and go forward from there.
So I just wanted you to listen. I just wanted you to just listen to what I'm saying. Can you just listen to me instead of trying to fix it?
You need a solution, woman.
This is what happens every time I try to talk to you. You do this to me. I just want you to listen. Can't you just like open your ears and listen?
If I have to, but it's a waste of time because the solution is doing what I tell you to do.
You know what's so funny? That was done last summer. That's almost a year ago. And my hair was a mess and I needed Botox. But that was actually very true. I really was feeling that way. So that's why it was easy for me to be authentic and share that information. But do we see the reaction? And I just teed it up to him. I said, you know, you react whatever way. And he said that is the way he would react, by the way. But go ahead, Caroline.
Wow. My feeling on that is that happens such a lot of times when the person is literally pouring out, especially the woman. She has many words. The feminine energy pours out all the emotion. And it's not that she wants a solution. She just wants to say it. And it somehow, at the end of it being said, the woman feels better. And the man is generally listening, or I should say the masculine energy is generally listening to solve all the things that you're saying. And that's where the contradiction lies, because when you turned around and said, I just want you to listen, because you didn't want anything solving, that this is a general situation, you know, with the masculine energy, because the masculine energy can also be from a woman as well. You know, it's not just, you know, from a man. The masculine energy is the logical, the practical, the listening with solution. The feminine energy is in the feeling. So we can all be in the masculine energy. We are both. And so when somebody's listening for providing a solution and the other person just wants to essentially download, just kind of say it all and get it off their chest, that's frustrating for both.
Yes, I agree with you. And, you know, it's interesting. I've been in my masculine energy, I think, ever since then. I'm not saying that exact moment, but I was in my feminine energy. And I think I really wanted to feel that I was not invisible. I think that's what I was feeling at that time, because it was in the throes of the pandemic, in the house, day after day after day, creating content. And I think I started to feel like I didn't matter. And as I don't want to say as a result of that, but at some point I switched into my masculine energy. Now I'm always like, go, go, do, go. It's like, ba, 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 very direct and focused. And it's all about, my clipboard, getting everything checked off. And and sometimes I say to myself, we need to bring some of that feminine energy, that softness, that sweetness back, but it's packed away for a while. So
it's very easy to get caught up in the having to do lots of things. I certainly, when I've got the accounts to do, I'm very focused and very task driven, and I'm looking at specificity of, sort of invoices and receipts, and making sure that the spreadsheets are right and it all adds up properly. And I'm really, really very focused, and that requires the masculine energy. And I absolutely despise doing it because it's very draining for me. I'd much rather be floating around, in a meditation, or, sort of with an inquirer, a client. That's my happiest space to be. And it's always very difficult for me. But when I get into it, it's not that I can't. When I get into it, whoa, I can get so much done. It's very powerful to be in that energy,
Yes.
So we're talking masculine energy. It can be in a woman as well as in a man. It's when you become logical, practical, and you're very focused in the solution, in solving something. You're a problem solver in that space.
Well, and what I do, I totally agree with you. What I do, everything is based on something else. So, for example, at the end of the day, I have 26 shows. I have to go to the YouTube channel and I have to make any corrections. Like if a guest didn't show up, I have to change all of that. And then I have to change the thumbnail. I have to put in the date, and then I have to put in all of the keywords for 26 shows. So that in of itself, that'll take tonight, all day tomorrow. Now, before I can create any new broadcasts, I have to do that, because otherwise I'm not going to have the right number in the playlist for the right episode number. So I'm just saying one thing is dependent upon another. So if I were to sit there and go, oh, I'm going to feel with my heart and see. No, get it done, sister. Get the work done. You can have like an all whatever moment, maybe on Monday after you did A, B, C, and D, but I don't get upset about it. It's a process. I have to do it. We do have a comment. Hello, Mary. Thank you for being here. 'Tis true.
Hello, Mary.
Very nice. I'm really enjoying this show, by the way, and I have to go to Loving Longevity, so which I'll enjoy too. But before we go on any further, because I know you and we could just keep going on. I've got more role plays, which I love looking at them. By the way, if anybody in the audience watching or listening, whether it's now or in the future, if you would like to film role plays to be used in this show, please let me know. It's a lot of fun. We meet on StreamYard. It'll take 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes if you want to be in a few of them. But I'd love to have you, and I'll put that information up. So Christine, Mary, anybody else who's there, if you want to be involved in role plays, please let me know. Caroline, how can people get in touch with you and tell us about this free consultation?
You can get in touch with me by email, and it's easy to remember. It's NoMoreStress at live.co.uk. What you'll get is, if you drop me an email letting me know what the problem is you want to solve, and the best timing for you, because obviously this is global, so you can be in any country in the world. I'm in London. So what you'll get is I will look at one or two symptoms, and I will identify the root cause of that one or two symptoms. And literally by the end of the call, you'll feel more relaxed, you will feel calmer, and you'll get an incredible night's sleep. In fact, not more than one night's sleep, but it'll be really deep. And so you'll wake up feeling refreshed. So reach out. Any type of stress, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or behavioral, whether it's relationship issues, bereavement issues, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's whatever pain that you have, allow me to help you through that and literally obliterate it.
Thank you, Caroline. I really appreciate you. And will I see you on Sunday, or you got plans?
I am free. I am going to a concert. I think it's the following week. I'm going to see Duran Duran on the 10th of July. So I won't be able to do my meditation with you then, but I will be available this Sunday.
And for people who are not aware, I'm just going to put this up. Caroline films a live meditation with me for our listening community. And I'm going to put up the information for this. So if you'd like to join our elevated listening community, you can go to drjacalyn.com/join, and you will receive a link to a video that includes a guided meditation by Caroline. It also includes fitness tips, education, listening tips. It's a little bit of everything. And at some point, I'm going to be bringing all the listeners together. Also, for the elevated listening community and our certified elevated listeners, we have a new show. It's a game show. Where is my banner? It's a game show. I still can't find it. It's called Who's Listening? Here it is. And this is a game show only for people who have taken the power of listening. Again, it's a 2.5-hour course for $257 and have become certified elevated listeners in our community. And Caroline is one of those people. So she will get to be on the game show. The game show, I have somebody in mind to co-host. It's a man with a fabulous voice. We are going to have the elevated listeners competing against each other to see how well they're listening on the show. And one of the fabulous prizes that I'm giving up is a Talking Heads license to be an expert presenter on our Talking Heads platform, which is now $6,000. So there'll be all kinds of other things that people can compete for, but it's, again, only for people who have been certified and are in our listening community. So do join us for that. All right, Caroline, I'm off to Loving Longevity. What are you up to for this evening?
I'm going to organize a really nice meal and have a comfortable and relaxing Friday evening.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again. One more thing I want to share. We have a new book coming out called The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. I'm co-writing this with Mariska Dupree. She's in New Zealand. And each of the animals you see on this cover actually represents a human being who is an elevated listener. And Caroline Heward is the star of this book. She's the owl. Tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, I'm known as White Tara, and I bring wisdom. I bring peace. So I'm the peacemaker. And where I am situated, I actually witness. I see everything and can give the advice from a place of observation and witnessing. I'm also very, very calm, because one of the things that I want to do is to create world peace.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful. I just want to share that I am the ladybug with the name tag Ella, because I'm the listening mentor. And Ella is actually my great niece. She's 9 months old. She lives in Virginia. And you'll see the cow is my sister. My sister said, you know what? I want to be involved. Where do I sign up? So she's Belle the cow. And you notice that Belle is on the farm. The other animals are in the forest, and Caroline is above. So the purpose of this book is to teach children and their parents how to listen at an elevated level. And part of the storyline is we see one farm animal, I'm sort of hovering, you're up in the tree, and then we see the forest animals. And the cow is afraid of the forest animals because they're unknown to the cow. And the forest animals feel rejected because they just want to be accepted. They don't know that they're any different because they live in the woods. So it's coming together, and I'm excited about it. And thank you for being the star of our show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's such an honor. Thank you.
You are welcome. I think we have another comment from Mary. Mary, I hear you. Well, you were talking about your weekend. Have a fabulous weekend. All right. Thank you, Mary, for interacting. And thank you, Christine. I really have to go now and get over to the other studio. Caroline, I will say goodbye, and we'll see you soon.
See you Sunday. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.